The Yankees lose. Welcome back to Mets Daily. I'm your host, Jake Brown, at Jake Brown Live on all social media. Make sure you smash that thumbs up on the video, subscribe below, and follow me at Jake Brown Live. Scan that code, become a Mets Daily Insider for $5 a month. Thank you so much, everybody. Listen, the Blue Jays were the better team over the Yankees. They just were. They had the better overall team, the better hitting, better pitching, better all-around baseball. Yankees fundamentals were awful. And, let me say this. We talked about this yesterday. If you're a Met fan, are you rooting for the Yankees? Are you not? Because I was someone who doesn't follow me on Instagram commented on my video, and we were having a back and forth that one person even said, see therapy, which now you have Yankee fans joking about mental health, which, by the way, people address, I address. I think it's a very important issue in our society and something that I've tried to take care of more in the last year. So that's not really something you should joke about when we're talking about a baseball game and a sporting event. I think it's utterly ridiculous. But let me just say this. Yankee fans danced on the Mets' grave all season. And as a content creator, when I make content, I'm open to people criticizing me and getting comments, and that's fine. And I read the comments, we reply, we have fun. On TikTok Live daily, we've been getting about 20,000 people in the room watching the game with us during these Yankee playoff games. And all season when I was live, Yankee fans. How's Juan Soto? How is it having Soto? How is it overpaying for Soto? Soto's hitting 250. How's Soto? Look, you missed the playoffs with Soto. You spent $1 billion with Soto. So today, when I post a 15-second video playing New York, and with a comment saying, now the Yankees, I don't have to read any more Cancun comments or how's Soto or we're better without Soto as Yankee fans come in. 15 seconds of lighthearted fun. I'm the bad guy. Listen, the streak goes both ways. If Yankee fans can comment all season about Soto and box score watch all season about Juan Soto, who signed with the Mets, yes, for almost $1 billion, for $765 million, $805 if he opts in, for the full 15 years. If that can be done daily and I can read it and I read through it and I'm a big boy, it's not a big deal. You could say what you want. Again, as content creators, we open ourselves up to that, and I'm fine with that. I can go out and enjoy the Yankee loss, and a Met fan can go do that. God forbid people get to smile for 15 seconds in their lives. I mean, how miserable are people that Yankee fans are now coming at Met fans who are happy about their loss? We had our graves danced on like a cha-cha slide at a bar mitzvah. So guess what? Let a Met fan be happy today. Let a Met fan smile. Because all we did was yell, scream, and be angry from, mid-June through September 29th, September 30th. We saw the misery. We dealt with our team sucking. We admit to it. We sucked. It was unacceptable. Heads will roll. It can't happen for a team that spent $340 million. Not $1 billion, because that's over 15 years. So I don't want to hear the $1 billion talk, because that's over 15 years. So we're talking about this year, not the next 15. We can celebrate. And if it bothers you, log off today. Log off. We've dealt with it for months. Yes, we're out of the playoffs. God forbid a Mets fan can smile for once about something. Mets and Yankees are rivals. And the response I got to that comment was, rivals, Yankees, Red Sox, you have to be at our level to be rivals. Again, there it is again. It's little brother this, little brother that. That's all we hear for the last 25 years. And that comment was responded with, go seek therapy. In a world where mental health is so fucking important. And you have people, I have a buddy who killed himself over mental health issues. And you're going to joke about go see a therapist. Get a clue. This is fucking baseball. Joking about playing a New York video and, take the loss today. You know how many Yankee fan friends I have and how many people I know who work at Yankee Stadium? I feel for them. That doesn't mean I can't enjoy one night of the Yankee season ending at the hands of the Blue Jays. As the Blue Jays, a feel-good story, advancing to the ALCS for the first time since 2016. So I don't want to hear from Yankee fans today who are making fun of the Mets. We've been made fun of our whole lives. We've been roasted. God forbid we take joy out of the people and the fan base that have roasted us all year, this year specifically. I never said the Mets are big brother. I don't think they're big brother. But I do think the Mets are spending at a level of the Yankees now and can compete at the level of the Yankees. Obviously, the Yankees went further, but in the end, they played a week more than the Mets, are still in Cancun and not going to the championship series, not going to the World Series. So the Yankees without Soto, they did get worse. Last year, they made the World Series. This year, they were eliminated in the first round. So yes, without Soto, the Yankees were worse. That's the reality. And I know that's tough to stomach today, but that's the reality of the situation. But to not let a Met fan have joy because we're dancing on the grave after our graves have been dancing for the last 25 years. Nah. Today's not the day for that. A Met fan's going to smile today, and we'll all go on with our lives, and we'll be cheering on the New York Knicks, whose season starts in less than 2 weeks. We can all agree on the New York Knicks. No Met fan needs to root for the Yankees. It's New York or nowhere, but that doesn't mean a Met fan has to root for the Yankees. They play 6 times a year. They beat us in a World Series in 2000. My first year as a fan when I was 9 years old. They broke our hearts in a World Series. You know, it's smack talk. It's New York. So let a Met fan dance today. Today's the day a Met fan can dance. And then tomorrow, we'll all move on and say, you know what? Both our teams sucked, and we have to do better. That's how the cookie crumbles. So if you want to comment on my videos, fine. But let's all grow up here. I danced for 15 seconds, had a little fun with it. I've moved on. I'm ready for Knicks basketball. You got Giants, Eagles tonight. We got to watch the Jets get, shit on Sunday in London. Drink a cup of tea and move on, because we will here. You're watching Mets Daily. I'm your boy, Jake Brown, live. Again, we go live and we get thousands of comments. All year I've been getting thousands. So my one comment is a 15-second video of New York playing, and me saying enjoy Cancun. Grow up. Enjoy the fun. You don't have to laugh at it. It's not meant to be funny for everyone. It's obviously not funny for Yankee fans. But scroll past it. There's worse things than a medium ugly bald guy singing New York dance and having a little fun on the internet than me having fun for 15 seconds. Just scroll past it and go on with your day. I'm on one today, folks. I'm sick of hindsight 2020. It's a two-way street. It's a two-way road. You roast, we roast. That's smack talk. That's sports. We still love each other. Yeah, I've never said an ill word about anyone. I'm one of the nicer people as there is. If you meet me in person, you know I'm all love, show love, get love. Shout out to my boy Alex. We preach that. But I'm going to dance for 15 seconds today. And I'm sorry, I know this went on longer than I expected, but I had to get it off my chest because the comments are just utterly ridiculous, man. Utterly ridiculous. Let's all have some fun and realize in the end this is sports. Let's not get mental health involved. Some of us might be on medication for certain things that have to do with mental health. So let's not joke about that shit. Get a life. Get a clue. One of the Yankees who might not be there, who now might be a free agent, is Cody Bellinger. And, Cody Bellinger intrigues me here. He has a $25 million player option that he can choose to opt out of. He said he loved his time in New York. He'd be open to coming back to the Yankees. I would think he opts out because I think he will get a multi-year deal. Bellinger is an intriguing case to me. He's 29 years old. He'll be 30, he's 30. He just turned 30 in July, so he's 30 years old. He's been in the league now since 2017. He's had 9 years in the league. What intrigues me about Bellinger is positional flexibility. This is a guy that's pretty good defensively, can play left, center, right, plays first base, which, the Mets can use an outfielder / first baseman. You think about, if you get him to play center and you get Carson Bench come up, you can move him to first base. In that sense, he does intrigue me. But I'd be careful giving him a long-term deal. This is a guy that's had a Jekyll and Hyde career offensively. You go back to 2017, Rookie of the Year, 39 and 97. 2019, 47, 115. He fell off a cliff for a couple of years after that. And 2023, 26 and 97. 2024, 18 and 78. And 2025, 29 and 98. Which guy are you getting? Because when you look at his track record, really since 2022, he's been good, but he hasn't been a level of, let's give him 6 years and 180. And that's what I worry. The track record shows next year he'll have more of a down year than he did this year. And I just don't know if the Mets are in a position to give a massive deal to a player that's been inconsistent. Now, if you said to me, Jake, he'll take 2 years for 50, I would do it. But if you're saying he wants 5 years for 125, 5 years for 150, I just don't know if the consistency is there to go after Bellinger when there's maybe other names out there. So am I intrigued by him? Yes. But am I giving Cody Bellinger a long-term contract with that inconsistency, guys? I'm going to say no. So let us know in the comments below. Would you give Bellinger a deal? Do you agree with me? Short-term? Will he take short-term? I think there's a team that might give him long-term. Maybe the Yankees say, you know what? We loved what you did. We're going to give you a 5-year deal. So I'm fascinated where Bellinger goes and how much he makes, because I don't know if a team would be wise to give him a massive 5-6 year deal, but he is 30, he's still in his prime, so that's going to be a fascinating case. Speaking of comments, once again, folks, we are going to your comments, this time from Wednesday's Mets Daily Show, so always leave those comments all off season long. We want to hear from you, the viewers of Mets Daily. And again, hit that subscribe and follow your boy at Jake Brown Live. All right, DJ Juan Dingo says, big yes to Michael King at that price and go Blue Jays. Yeah, Michael King, we talked about it. 4 years, 75, 4 years, 80. Would you do it? Juan says yes. I would probably agree. Stanley 4723. Stearns needs to sign both Diaz and Alonso. Again, I've talked about this. Diaz, yes. I don't think he has to sign Alonso. I think Diaz is important. Randy Luna 45 says I'm rooting for the Yankees. All right, there's a Mets fan that's rooting for the Yankees. Gary 12777 says Jeff McNeil's going nowhere. He won't be re-signed though. The team has in-house options at second base. They need to get out from under the luxury tax for 1 year so they can reset it. This means using as many youngsters as possible. I disagree, Gary. I think the Mets are finally in a position. They've been trying to trade Jeff McNeil for years, and now with 1 year left on his contract, they're finally in a position they can do it. So I disagree. They have in-house options, which is exactly why Jeff McNeil will be gone. Shakamoto says, forget the question the Mets fans should root for the Yankees. No baseball fan should root for the Yankees. After some of these comments I've been getting on a 10-second video dancing in New York, New York, I'm starting to agree with that, Shakamoto. From Arcade Perfect Reviews 2653, I used to like the Yankees. Then the Mets had a futures game where Keyspan Park opened, and I got to see David Wright and Jose Reyes up close. Then I figured I could still root for the Yankees since they barely played the Mets. Then they had a moment of silence for a guy who used racial slurs and said school shootings are okay. So now I only root for the Mets and for a downhill of the Yankees. Yeah, I mean, politically, the Yankees definitely crossed the line a lot more than the Mets. So if you go down that route, the Yankees do some things that will make people mad. I'm not going to get into politics here, but you're not wrong about that. They've crossed some political lines that some people would call questionable. But, again, I'm not going to go deep onto that. From a loyal viewer, Mets Daily Insider member Mary L. 1973, she said, I don't pay attention to the headlines. If the Mets get Bregman, I will support him, but I still have a bad taste in my mouth from the cheating scandal. And that's fair, Mary. Obviously, the Mets had a bad taste with Carlos Beltran with the cheating scandal, the suspension, so they opted to not make him their manager. Curious if that comes to fruition again, if they don't hire him because of that. I think it's years in the past. But you're perfectly in the right to not accept him because of the cheating scandal, and that's fair. From JB7735, if you're a true Mets fan, you will never root for the Yankees, never, even if they play our NL rivals. Listen, I agree with Jay, and I know Yankee fans will come at us saying it's New York, you got to root for New York, but it doesn't go that way when for years and years, and I don't want to hear this childhood trauma, you should see a therapist. No, you should see the comments and what Yankees and fans have been saying our whole lives. I mean, I grew up in our best family friends, and I love them to death. I love them. But they ripped me for being a Mets fan for years, and I still love them. But again, we still love them. We're still friends. It's sports. So I think people have this line of they rip you. I still have so many Yankee fan friends who rip me. They're still some of my best friends. But it's sports. It's all sports. And for me, I don't need to root for the Yankees, but I could still be best friends with Yankee fans. And that's what I don't understand. And it's like me living now by Philly and Philly fans saying, I can't talk to your Mets fan. I can talk to you. We both love sports. Who cares we like rival teams? And as someone who does this for a living, who talks about it, you would think I would care more. I don't. You're a sports fan? Great. Who cares? We like rival teams. We can still talk sports. And when our games come on, we'll root against each other. It's crossed this weird line where people take it so personal. I mean, taking a video personal of me saying, welcome to Cancun. I mean, come on. There's unemployed people. There's people dying. There's shit going on in politics. And you're taking it personal, a Met fan dancing about Cancun? I mean, get serious. Holy crap. People have lost their minds. All right, folks. I'm on one today. I'm on a heater today. I'm on a generational heater today. No one's stopping me today, folks. From Pat Pizzuto, 4809, Mendoza should have been fired. Yeah, we've discussed this. I agree, but he's here, and that's that. From Jose says, first things first. Okay, Steve Cohen has to take the bull by horns and sign Diaz and Alonso and let cheap stingy Stearns after there's stingy. I mean, I gotta stop with the stingy Stearns. It's ridiculous. From Renee Metz, what's up, Jake? Yeah, Bregman third, Beatty second sounds nice. Naylor first if Alonso walks. Yeah, I'm curious. If the Mets get Bregman, I do think they'll stay in-house with a Beatty-Mauricio combo at second or Beatty-Acuna. Naylor's intriguing to me. I think he's a winner. I like that the guy performs in the playoffs, that he's been in the playoffs a lot. But I don't know if the Mets sign Bregman. I don't know if they're going to sign both Bregman and Naylor because you're talking about two $25 million a year guys. I don't know if the Mets would get that. And Killer Dog XX replied to that saying, I think for the AAV valuation of Bregman is overrated. I think Eugenio Suarez would be a better option for cost. I mean, there's two elements of that. Bregman is a playoff performer. He succeeded in the playoffs. It's a lot of money, and he plays better defense than Suarez, who's not great defensively. So it would depend on what the number is for Suarez. I'm intrigued, but again, what is his number and what is Bregman's number? All right, folks, Phillies, Dodgers, Mets fans for Dodgers now. We'll see if Philly fans get mad about that and comment on videos. Enjoy the playoffs. Enjoy the game. Enjoy your day. Enjoy this fall. Chris Day. And welcome the New York Yankees to Cancun. It's nice and sunny here in Cancun. The beach is beautiful. The water's great. And we'll see you next year. Thanks for watching. That's Daily.